Welcome to the Randy Justice Show. Appreciate you guys being along with us tonight. Tonight, we're going to talk about the election 2024. And I have my very special guest with me tonight. You all may recognize her, my lovely wife, Deb Justice. Might be a little closer to your mic, I think. Right. It shows it's coming through. I don't know why it's not. Try it again. Testing. I can hear myself. Can't hear you. Try it now. Try it again. Technical difficulties, folks. Hang on just a minute. Tap on one of the mics and see if they're working. That one's working. Cool. Hang on just a minute, guys. I'll be right back. She's going on over there.
Hello. Okay, I think, yeah.
Yep, we got you now.
Okay.
All right. Anything that will go wrong sometimes. Anyway, welcome to the show. Appreciate it. We're going to talk about the election tonight. And we've got a lot to go over. But I would ask you guys, if you're new to the channel, if you're already subscribed, that's great. If not, I would ask that you would hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to be notified anytime I go live or upload a video. So with that being said, I see we got a couple of viewers. Thanks for joining us. Feel free to enter into the chat. We'll answer any questions that we can. As always, my channel is not sponsored by anybody, but I'll give, of course, our business a shout out. Knox Horizon Complete Auto Care at 4701 Clinton Highway here in Knoxville. We're a full service auto repair shop. We do everything from general maintenance, oil changes, tire rotations, to brakes, to engines, to transmissions, to diagnostics. You name it, we do it. Tires, alignments, even we calibrate the cameras and sensors and radars that's on the newer model cars. I also want to give a shout out to M-Body Healthcare. That's our primary care physicians, as well as most of our employees here. About half of our employees go to them. You can find them at mbodyhealthcare.com. You can find us at knoxhorizon.com. Now that I've got that out of the way, let's talk about the 2024 election. And I'm sure there's some people going to be upset tonight, and probably have some people that watch this video that won't like everything I have to say. You'll be able to tell real quick who we support, and I'll be honest, we're backing Trump for a lot of reasons, and I'll give you those reasons, whether you agree with them or not. That's up to you. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, and you're entitled to hey, Michelle, how are you? Good to see you on here. Thank you for joining. Anyway, we, everybody can vote for who they want to, but I'm going to give you the reasons why I think that Trump's the guy that should be in office. And first, I want to talk about a few things that's been in the news lately. And the first thing, let's talk about Mr. Biden. And you know what can I say about his latest thing? And I'm sure y'all have heard it, where he described Trump supporters as garbage. And this all started because Trump had a rally, and a comedian on there made a joke about Puerto Rico being an island of garbage. The joke was in poor taste. He shouldn't have done it. Now, everybody's blaming Trump, but the thing is, Trump don't pick the comedians that's going to be on there. It's part of the whole thing that's put together by a whole team and everything. So, it's a comedian. He didn't even know. He didn't pick them. And it is what it is. I think it's very funny, though. You can see a ton of videos of people in Puerto Rico and Puerto Ricans here in the States that didn't have a problem with it. As a matter of fact, they put together a whole caravan rally in Puerto Rico last night. I saw the video, which showed them with Donald Trump flags and supporting Trump. But if nobody's heard what Biden said, I'm going to play that for you right now.
Well,
I hope I am.
where I'm in my home state of Delaware.
And of course,
They're good,
it's not
decent,
wanting to
honorable
play.
people.
There.
The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters. His demonization is seen as unconscionable, and it's un-American. Or Puerto Rico, where I'm in my home state of Delaware, they're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters.
Now, you all heard that, his supporters. Now, what they've tried to come out and say afterwards, and even Biden himself, I was just talking about the comedian. I was just talking about that guy and the people that were at that rally. No, he made it very clear there. That wasn't a snafu. That wasn't a misspeak. He made it very clear that he thinks that Trump's supporters, every one of us, are garbage.
Yeah, that wasn't that was pretty clear to me. that was pretty clear.
Very clear. So, that's one thing. And then we've got the thing, and this was definitely a snafu. I know it was, but still, there's an old saying that out of the mouth, the heart speaks. So we got to talk about Tim Walz and his little statement he made during the VP debate of, I become friends with school shooters. Now, we know that's really not what he meant to say, but he said it anyway. What's really in his heart? This is a guy that wants to get rid of guns and everything else. He's he's the guy that in his state as governor that signed a bill into law to put tampons in boys' restrooms. So let me get this out of the way and just make everybody mad right now. There's male and female. There's XX and XY chromosomes, and that's it. It's settled. That's the way it is. There's boys, there's girls, there's men, there's women. And 400 years from now, if they dig up everybody's bodies, they're going to have men, they're going to have women. That's what it's going to be. There's no other way to determine that, and I don't give a crap if you like it or not. As my shirt says, no one cares if you're offended. Just because you're offended doesn't make something not the truth. So, Kamala Harris, let's talk about the fact of that she really blundered when her a while back when her teleprompter went off. She didn't know what to say. And as you can see some of the comments there, one of them said, what a disaster, totally unimpressed. Was she talking into an earpiece? Yes, this is the Democrat nominee. And, OMG, it's officially over. What can we say? I don't know what you say about Kamala Harris. She can't answer a straight question. Every time she's asked something, she goes round and round and round about it. They even asked her if she agreed with what Joe Biden said when he called Trump supporters garbage. Instead of just coming out and denouncing that and apologizing and saying it never should have been said, it's not true. No, she went round and round about the answer, saying that that when she gets elected, she's president for everybody, and she'll care about everybody no matter who they voted for. Well, that's not a denouncement of what he said. And she's made it really clear that she thinks, I think that's really the deplorable moment, referring to what Hillary Clinton did, calling us all deplorables. So I think that's what the whole garbage comment is too. Would you agree with that, Deb?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, totally agree.
So I asked Deb to be on here tonight because here's a couple of things that I want to ask. There's a lot of there's some big issues in this election, but one of the ones, and since Deb's a woman, that's why I asked her on here. And how do I know she's a woman? Because she's a woman. Look at her. Come on now. Anyway, so Deb, let me ask you a question. We have the trans movement, and we have the Democrats who say that biological men, people with XY chromosomes, should be able to go in the restroom with you. What do you got to say about that?
No. Just no. No. Yeah.
Well,
I don't understand that. I do not understand how they think that's okay.
Yeah, I don't either. Felix, thank you very much. I appreciate that feedback, buddy. Um, you know, and that's it. And then you've got the fact of that they want to put men and women's sports. And
I don't understand that one either. For years, women have fought for rights, and these leagues were formed, and now it's suddenly okay for these men to join them.
oh,
How is that okay?
Yeah, Felix, thank you for that donation. I really appreciate it. Michelle, thank you for agreeing with what we're saying too.
Yeah, thank you.
You're exactly right. And the thing is, whether they like it or not, there is a difference between men and women. Period.
Well, there are, but there are different personality types.
Well, not only that, but when we talk about men and women's sports, men are stronger. Men
Right.
are more fit. Men are higher testosterone. Women are not. We were built differently for a lot of different reasons, and that's not taking anything away from any woman out there. Women are
Right.
tough. Y'all have babies. Oh God, we'd be crawling on the floor crying like a bunch of little babies ourselves if we had to do that.
Yeah, you would.
Men are not tough. It's like the old joke, and you'll see this sometimes where they're talking about here's a woman with cold, washing the dishes, cleaning the house, doing this, and the man's laying on the couch dying.
Right.
It's just the truth.
Whining for his orange juice or whatever. Randy's not that bad. He does whine a lot, but he's not that bad.
I am. I'm very whiny. I especially when I get sick, and I'll do that. And
Yeah, I cannot imagine a man carrying a baby for
No.
9 months and then giving birth.
well, I can't either. But it's the fact of too, and I've watched a lot lately, and some people are starting to wake up. Men have their own struggles. They're different than women's struggles.
Right.
Women have struggles. But men, the one thing now, especially with men, the fact of and what the lefties have done is they've made it to where they've made it to where men can't be men. They complain about toxic masculinity, but then I've saw a bunch of women lately that when men aren't men and they show their feminine side, excuse me, when they do that and they're more sensitive, then the women are mad because they're not being men. And they want equality, so when you make them pay for half the damn bill at the restaurant, then they get mad about that.
Make up your minds.
Yeah,
Make
you
up-
can't have
make
it
up your
both ways.
minds.
I'm sorry.
And that's the other thing. Men can be sensitive and be men.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be one or the other. I like to shoot guns. I like to drive fast. I was a tomboy growing up, but I always knew that I was a girl. And that was perfectly fine. And, I think another thing is, as teenagers, man, I would not want to be a teenager again and go through puberty. There are times in our lives where none of us feel comfortable in our bodies, but that does not mean that we're in the wrong one.
Well, it's, that's exactly it. And, when I grew up, I didn't have a dad in the picture. He walked out on me and my mom when I was 13 weeks old. So I was basically raised by my mom, my grandmother, an aunt that lived close to us. And so I was more sensitive. And that's what I was a sensitive guy. And I got called all kinds of names because of that, because I just didn't seem to be as manly as some of the other guys. Well, I wasn't a damn bully like they were. That's one, so I guess I wasn't manly enough. But I never doubted what I was. I knew I was a guy. It is what it is, and that's just the thing. And even though, yeah, I wasn't comfortable in my body when I was going through puberty, I don't think anybody is.
Yeah,
Guess what? You grow out of it.
right. Well, and you have to have the right support.
Well, you do.
You know, you have to have the support of your parents, of your family, and friends.
Well,
I mean,
that's exactly it. But and the reason we got on this subject is the fact of the Democrats. You know, they just want to blur those lines. They want to. Kamala even wanted to use taxpayer dollars to pay for illegal immigrants to have sex change operations. Well, I'm sorry, I'm taxpayer. It's my money. I don't want my money going there. I think we should have a form when it comes to our tax dollars where we can check where we want our tax dollars to go to.
that would be interesting.
Felix, I totally agree with you. Being in service of the Lord is the key.
Yes.
And you know, that's another thing we'll get on here, the fact of too, and I'm going to say this outright, and I'm going to get some flack for it, but I really don't care, because again, no one cares that you're offended. We're tired of that nonsense. I get offended a lot, but I don't go around whining about it. It is
Well,
what it is. But
I mean,
go ahead.
you know, you can get your feelings hurt and whine about it, but not be hateful, violent, dismissive, uh, canceling of people.
Well, exactly.
Yeah. Anyway,
Hey,
I'm
Gerald,
sorry. Go ahead.
Gerald, good to see you on the in the chat, man. Good to have you along. So that's one thing I'll talk about when we talked about Christians, and I'm gonna say it, and I really don't care. People tell you you can't judge somebody and judge what's in their heart and la da 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 da. I'm not judging anybody, but I'm telling you now, if you're calling yourself a Christian and you're voting for Kamala Harris, I have to question everything about you. You know, if you saw her rally recently and what she said when somebody in that audience said Jesus is Lord or King, I can't remember which way they put it, and she said they're at the wrong rally, they need to be at the little one down the road.
It says a lot.
It tells you all you need to
About-
know. She hates you. I'm sorry, it is what it is. That's my opinion.
Where's the love and tolerance?
Yeah.
I mean, I'll listen to anybody's point of view. I mean, I may be in my mind thinking, "Oh my gosh, they're stupid" or something,
Yeah.
but I'm still going to listen. How?
Well, I have civil debates with everybody all the time. We don't always agree. That's
Right.
okay. That doesn't mean I hate them. Doesn't mean they hate me.
Yeah, there are a lot of
it
things
is what
that
it is,
Randy and I
but-
don't agree on.
But I'm right. But I'm gonna pay for that. But no, it was really and Felix, you're right. It was nuts. But there's the thing that she the Democrat Party wants abortions all the way through the end of the trimesters, and we as Christians and anybody that has any sense knows that that life that's in a woman's womb has every potential to become a full-fledged human being. I don't care at what stage it's at. And if you terminate it, you're terminating human life. I'm sorry, it is what it is. It's murder. And, again, that's my opinion. As Phil Williams, one of our local radio hosts would say, that's my opinion. Feel free to make it your own. But that's just it. As a Christian, I don't know how anybody can vote for her. I have to question anybody that says they're a Christian, they're voting for Kamala Harris. And yes, I'm saying Kamala because it's the way it was pronounced forever before it was supposed to be Kamala. Screw that. I'm going to pronounce it the way it was pronounced forever. And again, here's the thing too. This woman is such a chameleon and has changed so much that what I don't understand is, she's Indian is what she is, but now she's a woman of color and black. But then at one point she was Asian, and then what is she? I mean,
Well, I want to know, why does it matter?
exactly.
Why does the color of her skin matter?
Yeah, and that's another thing we want to talk about. I was talking to Deb about this earlier, and I've gotten some opinions here lately on this, and there was there was a person of color, a minority, if you will. I don't think they're minorities. I think they're as equal to every one of us. That's my feeling on it. I have a lot of friends. I've had friends over my entire lifetime. I've had friends that were gay. I've had friends that were black, friends that were Asian, friends that were everything. I'm not discriminated against anybody. I like everybody. And I really do. But here's the thing, voter IDs. Democrats are so against voter IDs, and I hear this argument all the time, that the minorities, they can't get IDs. How racist is that of a statement that you're saying that minorities are inferior to everybody else because you're saying they can't get IDs, even though, and the people they're talking about, they say there's people on welfare, there's people on food stamps, there's people on government assistance. They have to have a damn ID to get it. They have to show an ID to be able to prove they are who they are to get those things.
And I really hadn't thought about it in that way until you brought it up. I mean, I had thought about, well, you have to have ID to do this, that, and the other, but that really is a put down.
It is. You're saying these people aren't equal to you. If you're saying they can't get IDs, number one, you're talking out the side of your head because, again, like I said.
Or saying they're not capable of getting it.
Yeah. When if they're getting any kind of government assistance or program, they have to have a photo ID. Or at the very least, a birth certificate, which works too.
Or getting a checking account, or driving a car,
or getting a credit card,
yes.
Or you have to prove who you are to do all these things. So why is the election any different? Because the Democrats can't cheat if we make everybody provide their ID. That's all it is, period.
That's the difference.
Something I want to go over and what really is important to us as business owners. And I'm sure that Deb hadn't heard all these facts, so I'm going to go over them. You guys can see them. I pulled them up here. So this is Harris's tax proposals. And this will be for next year's budget. And let's just talk about the business provisions that she's got in there first. She would increase the corporate income tax rate from 21 to 28%. Now, I'm going to tell you now, if she does that, there's going to be a lot of businesses that are going to lay people off, or they're just going to terminate people. They're going to do what they have to make up that difference. They're not going to just accept that and it not happen. It's kind of like what happened in California when they went up to $20 a mandatory minimum wage. And there was, the last statistics I saw, almost 25% of the workforce got terminated or laid off, which is what we said was going to happen. You cannot force companies to do that and them not do something, or they started replacing people in fast food places with kiosks. So they just got rid of the whole human element completely. So she wants to increase the corporate alternative minimum tax from 15 to 21%. Now, if you don't know what the alternative minimum tax is, that applies to taxpayers with high economic income by setting a limit on those benefits. It helps ensure that taxpayers pay at least a minimum amount of tax. And Deb, I don't know if you know, do you know what that income bracket is?
I don't.
Okay, I don't either, and I could not find that earlier. But basically, now you're asking them to pay an additional 6% above what they're already asked to pay. And this is on business people. That's what is a corporate alternative minimum tax. So there again, you have just gotten rid of jobs. You have just gotten rid of investment in infrastructure. You have gotten people who are not going to expand their businesses, and you're going to have businesses that are going to close. As a matter of fact, we've had the discussion of what we're going to do if Harris gets elected. Because small businesses like ours, I don't know that we can survive. I'm just being totally honest. I don't.
Well, and that, that's going to depend. What are they going to do on the, personal income taxes? Because not all businesses are taxed at that corporate rate.
Yep.
It depends on how your business is set up. A lot of small businesses like ours, it passes through to the business owner's personal income taxes. And so they end up paying the personal income tax rate, which could be higher than that. So,
Well, we're going to get to the pass-through in a minute.
okay.
Oh, yeah, she's got plans for that, too.
Oh, awesome.
Oh, I know. It's awesome.
Can't wait to hear that.
So here's the other thing she wants to do, too, is quadruple the stock buyback tax implemented by the Inflation Reduction Act, which had nothing to do to decrease inflation. And basically, before Biden come in office, if a company bought back stock that was sold, there was no tax on that. But they put in 1%. So they had to pay a 1% tax on any stock they bought back at that current market rate. So it may not sound like much, but Harris wants to move that to 4%. Now, what that means is the fact of the businesses, if you've got $1 million in stock out there and you want to buy it back at the current market rate, then you're going to pay 4% tax on that you just bought back. Just another hit to businesses. She wants to make permanent the excess business loss limitation for pass-through businesses. So in other words, there's limitation. If we have a pass-through business like ours, and our business is not even 2 years old yet, and most businesses don't make a profit till the third to fifth year, which means we have losses because we've invested in equipment, we've invested in employees, we've invested in the building, we've invested in so many things. So yes, we have losses.
Yes.
But now they want to limit how much of those losses we can take.
Awesome.
So thank you very much. Appreciate it. It is what it is. So here's a good one. You'll love this one, Deb. They want to further limit the deductibility of employee compensation.
They're basically taking away any incentive to start a business.
They are.
I mean, you start a business to make money. Now, you definitely need to be fair with your employees and pay them for the job that they are doing.
Right.
And, incentives for job well done, be able to provide them with benefits. But doing all of these things, that just, it takes away incentives. You can't give raises as easily.
Well, it is. And a couple things to say. Hey, and let me ask this. Jay that's on there, I believe that's Spanish he's typing. I am not fluent in Spanish, I'll be totally honest. So if anybody wants to try to translate that, that'd be great. I know that Puerto Rico, I recognize that, so I don't know what he's saying. But, yeah, feel free. If anybody can translate that and put it in there, that'd be great so we know what's being said.
Yes, you're right. Time is the largest investment.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes, but one thing, too, and I forgot I had this pulled up. So talking about the stock buyback, that's basically an excise tax. Right now, it's 1% of fair market value of any stock of the covered corporation, but they want to turn it to 4%. And we talked about the excess business, the pass-through, the loss limitation for 2024. In 2024, it's $305,000 if you're a single filer, $610,000 filing a joint return, which is great because I can tell you that we're in that range. And so they want to limit how much of that we can do, even though we've used it to build a business and employ about 20 people, and we've added to this economy and helped a whole lot of people.
So, I think Felix is saying that it's reading. If we were to start a cannabis shop, we would get incentives.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Maybe that's what we need to do. Well, we can't do. I'm sorry,
can't do
cannabis here. Hemp.
Hemp
is it, a hemp farm. That would be that would be awesome. Felix, thank you very much. So the other thing on businesses, and this one really kind of killed me, they want to increase the global intangible low taxed income tax rate from 10.5 to 21%. They want to double it.
Global.
The intangible, what is global intangible low taxed income? It's a minimum tax targeted at foreign earnings from intangible assets such as copyrights, patents, trademarks, and so on. And so now, if you got a copyright on something or a patent and somebody else is using it and you're making money off that, they want to tax you 21% of what you're earning. Felix, thank you for that. Appreciate it. And then they want to repeal the reduced tax rate on foreign-derived intangible income. So they want up that and repeal the reduced tax rate. So you won't get reduced tax. You're going to pay 21%. So now, capital gains and estate tax provisions. For individuals. So they want to expand the base of the net investment income tax to include non-passive business income and increase the rates for that, and the additional Medicare tax to reach 5% of income above $400,000. So here's what I want to say about small businesses. There's some small businesses where the owners, because it's a pass-through income, but here's what happens. So let's say that you as a small business owner, that on your taxes, it shows that you earn $400,000. That's great. That's not how much you took home. That's not how much that you put in your pocket. That's not how much you got to spend. Because as a small business owner, you take about 75% of that at least and put back into your business to keep it going, to pay your employees and everything else. So in reality, if we take that rule, $400,000, you've put, $300,000 at least back in there, if not more. And that's if you even got to show you made that much, because I can tell you now that we don't make that much out of this business right now, because again, we're not even making a profit. We're not even 2 years old.
Right.
We're doing what we can to build this business, so hopefully down the future it will. But if Kamala gets elected, she's probably going to destroy our business. And it's just the truth. I hope that's not the case. I hope that Tuesday goes right, but it is what it is. So next on the list, she wants to increase the top individual income tax rate to 39.6%. So basically 40%. So that means if someone earns above $400,000 or $450,000 for joint filers, you're going to take 40 cents of every dollar that you got and give back to the government. Now, I want you to really think about that. Instead of taxing me 40 freaking percent, think about what I could do with that money to pay employees more, to buy equipment for the business, to do that. But instead, it is what it is.
So tell me about the inheritance tax. What are they doing with that? The death tax.
Well, we're going to get there in a minute.
Okay.
I don't think that there's and I'm going to have to get back in there in just a second and see, but I don't think there was an actual, what she has said is she's going to raise it, but I don't think there's ever been a number put out there.
Oh, okay.
But let's talk about capital gains and qualified dividends. Long-term capital gains and dividends at 28%, which is actually better. That's opposed to Biden's 39.6%. So she does want to lower that, but that's for taxable income above $1 million and tax unrealized capital gains at death above a $5 million exemption, $10 million for joint filers. So does anybody realize what unrealized capital gains are? Basically, unrealized capital gains is, let's say you have this money that's sitting in an investment account. That's the best way to put it. And what unrealized capital gains is if the market stays at this in a year, you're going to have this much gains. It's a hypothetical guess. as to what you're going to have, and they want to tax you on that. Now, if you don't reach that, guess what? They're not going to give you the money back.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's the thing. They're not going to say, "Oh, we overestimated, so
Right.
here's this point back." And yes, Felix, it is a nail in the coffin. I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
So-
How is that? Okay, I just
No, you go ahead. I mean,
I don't understand.
no,
It's-
I don't either.
You know, you're penalized for making these investments, and
We like. Well, we like to give to charity. We like to help a lot of people, and we've helped a lot of people just on our own. But when they're taking all of our money, how can we help anybody? it just, well,
no, it's true. And yes, there is the argument that there are a lot of people that don't do that.
Yep.
And that's true. And I don't, I think people should.
so
But you're then going to penalize everyone.
oh yeah. So let's get through this next part too. So here's a good one for you. So evidently, high income earners are anybody that's over $400,000 a year. That's what it sounds like to me from everything I'm reading on all these things. Would you not agree? So high income earner over $400,000 a year, or somewhere in that range, they want to limit the retirement account contributions for high income taxpayers with large individual retirement accounts, IRA balances. So if you're trying to plan for the day that you retire so that you can live comfortably and not have to live off the government, they want to limit how much you can put in that account. How does that make any sense?
Yeah, well, I mean, they want you to pay the taxes on it now and not later when you actually start
Yeah, exactly.
pulling that money out. That's
but
why.
but they're wanting to limit how much you can put in. So I mean, it's
Yeah.
like, it shouldn't matter if I want to save every dime that I make and put it into account, as long as I'm not taking money from the government or on government assistance. Who cares what I do with that money? It's my money. So here you were talking about the estate tax, the death tax. Here's the only thing that's in her plan that says tighten rules related to the estate tax. That's what we got. It don't tell how they want to tighten them. It don't tell what they want to do, but that's what it is.
That has to be the one. I mean, there's a lot of unfair taxes, but
Yep.
to spend your life building whatever it was, whether you invested in stocks and did great, or you built businesses or bought land, but at your and you've paid taxes.
Yeah,
on
you've
the
already
money.
paid taxes on it.
You've paid taxes on the money when you earned it. You've probably, if it's property, paid property taxes for years, whatever. But now you're going to have to pay taxes on it again if it's over a certain amount. How is that right?
Well, it's not, and I mean, I think that's the whole point. There's nothing right about it, and what it comes down to is the fact of that estate tax, or what's really called the death tax, because it's only when somebody dies and they leave their estate to their children or whoever, that's when that tax goes into effect. But if you want, yeah, Gerald, it is. It's very unfair. But here's another one for you too that really gets to me too. So she wants to tax carried interest as ordinary income for people earning more than $400,000. Boy, that $400,000 just keeps coming up. I guess that's what she considers a very high earning rich person. And I can tell you, in today's economy, $400,000 isn't much, especially if you're a small business owner and you're putting 75+% back in your business. And I don't know what 1031 like kind exchanges is. Do you?
Yes.
Okay. Can you explain it simply?
Okay. This is there's more to it, but essentially, if you sell property and you have a gain on it, if you then invest all of that in other properties, then it's a like-kind exchange.
So she wants to limit that to $500,000 in gains.
Okay.
No more.
So if you sold and made 750,000, you could only roll over 500,000 of that profit as non-taxable into another investment. Okay.
Okay, there you go. So, and Michelle, you're right. Right is not in their vocabulary. So, gee, wonder where she got this from. She wants to exempt tipped income from income tax taxation for occupations where tips are currently customary. That's
Yeah.
what Trump said before anybody else.
There-
My
there-
gosh, steal his ideas because
That was nowhere on her
No,
agenda before he
nowhere.
said it.
and oh boy, thank you for what you want to do. She wants to expand the Section 195 deduction limit for startup businesses from $5,000 to $50,000. Guess what? It costs more than $50,000 or even $5,000 to start a business. And I'm sorry, it's just the truth. And if she thinks anything else, then she's lost her freaking mind. But if you really want to get down to the, and I was looking at this earlier, I've got to find it. So here's the deal. All of her tax proposals, what would it do in the long run? It would lower our gross domestic product by 2%. Our gross national product by 1.8%. Capital stock by 3%. It would decrease everyone's wage rate by 1.2%. So think about what you're earning right now and just take 1.2% and lower your wage that much, which doesn't sound like much, but it is over time if you add that up over a year. And it would eliminate, according to these estimates, and this is from the Tax Foundation General Equilibrium Model, it would eliminate 786,000 full-time equivalent jobs. So they want to talk about creating jobs and all this stuff, but she's going to eliminate, 750,000 jobs. Now, I don't understand it. I'm sorry. I do not understand the reasoning, the thoughts behind this.
And what's that going to do to inflation? What's that? I mean, what is all?
Oh my gosh.
Just the overall effects of all of it.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Phil. It's very hard to believe that these people are in the position to represent. It's just, the thing I would ask anybody that's watching this, whether you're watching it now live or whether you watch it later, are you better off than you were 3.5 years ago? Now, I'm going to tell you point blank, yes, I'm pulling for Trump to win because I know what the economy was like under him when he was president before. Do I like everything about Donald J. Trump? No, I don't. I'll be the first one to tell you.
No, I don't either.
But I'm not voting for what I like. I'm voting on policies. I'm voting on what's best for this country. I'm voting on somebody that doesn't tell Christians that they're at the wrong rally. I'm voting on someone to do a very dirty, hard job. No, I have never ran for office, but you may have seen my name on a poster somewhere. I did used to wrestle, so it's possible you saw a wrestling poster somewhere. And there's a few other things I've done. It's very possible, yeah, you can see me somewhere. It could have been a wanted poster. I don't know, but I'm too honest to be a politician. I'm kind of like Trump. I just tell you how it is, and people would not like that.
Well, and the thing that really kills me, some of the things that I've been reading. There's one book in particular right now, and I can't think of the name of it, but it's about Trump and 2016 and why he was elected. And it's not just a pro-Trump book, but it talks about how the Democrats responded when Hillary lost. How they did not want the election certified that January when she lost. how she went around whining and complaining. And I mean, there were all these people calling for his assassination. How were they going to get him out of office? How were they? I mean, it. But then he gets crucified for not buying that he lost in 2020. You know, again, I don't agree with everything he's said and done.
No, but
But they do these same things, but just
Trump got elected and he had billions of dollars in his account, and he actually lost money as president and got less wealthy. But isn't it funny how members of Congress and all these other politicians, they go in having almost nothing in their bank account, and they come out multimillionaires.
yeah. How
Now,
does
you
that
tell me
work?
insider trading's not going on. You tell me that they're not making shady deals and stuff. That's the biggest bunch of BS I've seen. It's just the truth.
Term limits.
Term limits for Congress, amen, totally. I don't care who it is. They need term limits. And unless the people push that, it's never going to happen. You know, there's a saying, I've said it on here before, and I'm actually going to look it up because it really sums up how I feel about the election, about people, and about and about the real truth about some things. I've just got to find it here real quick. It's a great movie line. And it's one that has always really really stuck with me because it says things real good. And of course, watch me not be able to find it this time.
Well, while you're doing
Yeah,
that,
you
I
talk.
just, you know, again, there's a lot of things that I've kind of cringed when I've either heard Trump say them or I've read what he has said or posted. But at least I didn't have to wonder.
So
You know, that's the only thing I can say. And you know, a lot of times he was just saying what other people were thinking. And if you go back in history, well, the problem was social media. Other presidents, other people have said and done some of these things. It's like harassing him for his affairs. Other presidents hadn't had affairs. I mean, to our knowledge, he didn't while he was president, but we sure have had some that did while they were president.
he didn't have a Monica?
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, in the Oval Office, but we're just gonna, you know, go after him for his indiscretions of the past. I don't know. I hate the hypocrisy of it all.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
That's my thing. Still can't find it.
Yeah, I did find it. I'm sorry, I was waiting on you to finish. So basically, this is it. You know, I think about these people all the time that that they follow the media blindly. That that you get one of them started. This is what happens in riots and everything else. And as a former law enforcement officer, I saw this so many times. You get a group of people together and they lose their damn minds. And it's just the truth. And Tommy Lee Jones, his character in Men in Black, he's talking to Will Smith when Will first finds out there's aliens on the planet. And even though it's from a movie, this quote has always stuck with me as one of the truest sayings I've ever heard. And Tommy Lee Jones' character, Agent K, when Will Smith says, "Why don't we just tell people?" So Tommy Lee, because people are smart, Tommy's quote is, "A person is smart. People are dumb, panicky, dangerous animals, and you know it. 1,500 years ago, everybody knew the earth was the center of the universe. 500 years ago, everybody knew the earth was flat. And 15 minutes ago, you knew that humans were alone on the planet." Again, fiction on humans are alone on the planet. whether you believe that or not, whatever. But it's very true. A person is smart. You get a person one-on-one, they're pretty smart. But people, when you get them together in a group, are dumb, panicky, dangerous animals, and everybody knows it. We see it all the time.
And it's even worse when you have the media that will take a few seconds from an interview or a rally speech, and it just totally taken out of context.
Yep.
But yeah, you watch the whole thing or listen to the whole thing, and you get the context, and it's like, oh, well, what that person said wasn't bad.
Well, that's exactly right.
But Kamala can say when it's brought to her, you still haven't been to the border. When are you going to the border? Well, I haven't been to Europe either. What's your point? Well, the point is you were in control of the border. You were supposed to. That was the point.
I should have found that clip earlier and played it because that's a really good one. And
that one still gets
Felix,
me.
I totally agree too. Emotions have gotten me in some sticky situations too, and I've had to learn over many years that my emotions shouldn't be what's always there. And but it's going to be very interesting to see what happens Tuesday and how this really comes out. And I guess it is just a wait and see thing, isn't it, Deb?
It is. It is. I mean, I feel hopeful, but I'm still anxious because there just seems to be such a lack of common sense and genuine empathy and love and just thoughtfulness. Why can't the world be that way? Why?
I have no answers at this point. I don't.
I know.
The thing that I would say is we come to the end of the show tonight is fact of. So I've made a decision, something I've not done before. I do my podcast every Thursday night, but I'm going to Tuesday night. I'm going to start. We're going to start between 7:30 and 8, and I'm going to bring you live election coverage. I'll have a electoral college map. We will show the states as they come in, who they go for. We'll keep track of the electoral college votes. And I hope you guys will join me here Tuesday night as we do that. I agree. It is greed that gets in the way. And I also agree.
I was going to say that, greed.
Yeah, also agree comedians will have awesome material for decades over this. It's very true.
There are some great memes.
And I just want to tell Joe Biden, if he should ever hear this, I'm proud to be garbage.
Same.
Thank you very much, Joe. I really appreciate it. And
I'm sorry, the garbage truck, Trump.
Oh my gosh, that was awesome too.
Awesome.
So, well, guys, I tell you what, thank you guys for being on here. Felix, really, thank you for all your input. Gerald, Michelle. Even our trolls, thank you very much for being on here. I appreciate it.
We had trolls?
I'm pretty sure we did because I thought these people were speaking Spanish. I tried to translate, it won't translate, so I don't know what they're speaking.
Oh, I thought Felix had said he had translated something.
No, he said he was reading it, I think. But no, I don't think we've translated anything these people done. Felix, thank you very much for the donations. It's really appreciated.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, man, appreciate it. And anyway, I hope to see you guys here Tuesday night. If not, we'll definitely be back next Thursday night. But
hopefully I can be on here more.
Yeah, and maybe Deb will be with me Tuesday, maybe not for the whole thing, because we'll be here at least until midnight or as soon as we may know, because who knows when we'll really know who finally wins, because, there's all kinds of shenanigans. It's going to be...
yeah, I'll probably be with Britt some.
Oh, talking about, okay, there's storms and loss of electric in a marina. Okay, now I know what's going on. And I forgot that they were having some storms.
Oh, who? Where?
Down in Puerto Rico.
Oh.
And let me see something here.
So that's what that was about?
Evidently it was. Oh. And I'm going to see real quick here if I can pull up the radar and see what's going on.
There have been so many bad storms. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, let me pull the radar up on my phone real quick and see what's going on down there because I forgot there was a storm that was brewing down there and I just hadn't, out of sight, out of mind. I guess
Yeah.
it's one of those things.
Well, we certainly hope that it doesn't get worse and that power is restored very quickly.
Well, it looks like we got a lot of activity down down that entire area in the Caribbean and even out in the Atlantic. And wow,
I've been to Puerto Rico once. I'd like to again.
yeah, looks like there's definitely room for tropical development down there. There's North Atlantic #1 area of interest, 60% chance of tropical storm formation over the next 7 days. That's southwestern Caribbean Sea. Let's see what this other one is. North Atlantic #2, given that's in the northwestern Caribbean Sea, but it only has a 10% chance of tropical storm formation over the next 7 days. So hopefully neither one will. And Felix, good night to you too, buddy. Thank you very much.
Yes,
Again, we're going to
thanks.
sign off for the night, but thank you all for being here. And again, I'll be here live Tuesday night, bringing you the election results as they come in.
And I'll be here for a little bit.
Yep, and we can discuss whatever you guys want to. Anyway, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a wonderful night, and we'll see you on Tuesday.